Well, hello, welcome to a special edition of Vegas Nation. I'm your host, Brian Salmon. Now, with the start of the NFL season kicking off September 6th with the Eagles and the Falcons, the Review Journal is putting out a special issue online and, of course, a print version full of all the great football information that you've come to love from the host of talented RJ writers here at the Review Journal. These pros can not only write, but they can also talk about topics just a little bit, as you'll see in this special edition. So as we bring you into the RJ studios, I have three guys here with me that can kind of talk, and they look pretty good as well. We have columnist Ed Graney right here. We also have assistant sports editor Tom Spousta and NFL writer Gilberto Manzano. So guys, got a lot to talk about. Got to get your insight on some of this stuff. We're going to start with one of the things that Gilbert came up with most of these. Over-under for the Oakland Raiders this season. We're going to start with Derek Carr, 4,000 yards passing. Since Gilbert, you came up with this. What you got, my man?
Yeah, that was a good question because Derek Carr has never gone over 4,000 yards, and it seems like every top quarterback in the league goes 4,000 yards on the regular. It seems like every year they do. But now with John Gruden there, he might have a better play caller. He's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. So for me, I went over on Derek Carr to finally get that, that benchmark set.
Amari Cooper's going to have a good year?
I think so, but I know it's a whole brand new team, so I'm trying to get my mind around it. I know Martavis Bryant, but I think Mark Cooper and Derek Carr have a good AC/DC connection.
Okay, no white tiger in Oakland. What do you think about over-under?
I'm definitely going under just because of the coach.
Wow.
He's
Tom Spouster right out the top.
There's going to be a theme here with Tom Spouster and John
He's made it clear he's going throwback. He's maybe not going back to 1998, but he's definitely going to run the ball more.
Gotcha.
You got Marshawn Lynch, whatever two other running backs they decide on. Who knows? It's been, 10 minutes since they've made a move?
They haven't made a move today.
So I'm going to go under it. I think they're just going to run the ball more, and he might get 36, 38, which is kind of what he's been doing the last 3 years anyways. Okay. So I'm definitely going under.
Under for Spouster. Ed Graney.
I'm going over with Gilbert. I don't call you Gilberto. I will call you then here. I will call you Gilbert.
Right,
you are Gil. Gilberto. I'm going to go over.
You know more Spanish than I do.
I'm going to go over because, like Gilberto said, he's come close twice, but I also think they're not going to be very good. So I think they'll throw more, ergo more yards. And I just like X2 Banana Straight Gelkin Salmon on 2. So I think that'll be called like a million times, and the guy will get a lot of yards. I think he'll go over. I don't know if the record's going to be very good, but I think he goes over 4,000.
Okay, all right. I personally think he's going to go over as well. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. I think no white tiger out there in Martavis Bryant, but they do have Amari Cooper, and I think he's going to have a bounce back year, so I think they go over as well. All right, Marshawn Lynch, 1,000 yards rushing. We're going to go ahead and start with Ed on this one.
I go under. A couple of reasons. Not against him, because I thought, being at most games last year, I thought he was their best player on most weeks. I mean, he was at least consistently doing forward things and moving the chains. But he was still at 800, 8+ last year. Last time he ran for 1,000 was 2014. He took the year off. He's older now. But also, why did you sign Doug Martin? I don't think you signed Doug Martin to sit on the bench. Chris Warren got hurt, so he's not a factor right now. But I think Martin takes enough carries, and the fact that Marshawn's north of 30 as a running back, and even last year, as good as he was, he didn't reach it. So I'm going to say under on 1,000.
Wow. Okay. All right, Tom.
I'm going under again.
This guy.
I keep want to call Marshawn the old rust bucket. But he surprised us last year. He got, almost 900. I think it was 890.
And he started off really slow.
He started slow, and the bulk of that kicked in the last 4 or 5 games. If Gelkin was here, he could break it down for us. But a lot of that was bonus time, too. Those last 4 games where he picked up significant roster incentive bonuses, got to 890. He didn't give up, much like a lot of the team those last few weeks.
Yeah.
So I think he's still got 800 in him maybe, but he does not have 1,000 in him.
No 1,000, even with Skittles. What do you think?
I don't know if you know this, Brian, but I'm really close with Marshawn Lynch. I was hanging out with him at the Beast Mode store in Las Vegas at Town Square, so we're pretty tight like that. Got Skittles bags and all that stuff. So just for that, I'm going over on the Marshawn Lynch. I think he's on a roll. He's having a good time in Oakland. And like Tom was saying, they're kind of a throwback team. So 8 blockers there, and just let Marshawn pound the ball. And I think he's going to just keep feeding the guy the beast, and he's the bell cow.
So how about this one? This is one that I like. We added this late. 31 sacks for the Raiders. Of course, last year they had 31 sacks as a team. Last year they had Khalil Mack. He didn't have a great season. This year they do not have Khalil Mack. I don't know if people know that, but they didn't have. You guys, Khalil Mack's not there. Yeah, he's not with the Raiders this year.
He can afford some nice property on the Lakeview over in Chicago, though.
Yes.
He can do very well for himself.
Something covering that head.
Right.
The Raiders, 31 sacks as a team with Mack gone. Over under.
They got 31 last year, and that's already low to begin with. They're one of the worst teams in the league with that.
Bad.
You know, so I'm guessing they'll go up. I know it's kind of crazy to say without Khalil Mack, but they did draft pretty well. You know, what we mentioned, Arden Key, the replacement.
Gilberto.
PJ Hall.
Put a hat on, my friend.
No, he's
God.
31 is a low number. And you have three guys can compare to one. I'm going with the over on.
Good for
it could be
you.
32, 35. That's still very low, but they're going over.
Could be 26.
Hot take.
Or that.
Wow.
But under 30 is really low to me.
Okay.
So Ed clearly doesn't agree with that.
So I'm going under.
Hey,
Wow.
Well, okay, if you say right now going in, Bruce Irvin's your most accomplished pass rusher.
Yeah.
In 6 NFL seasons, Bruce Irvin's averaged 5.3 sacks. So now the Arden Keys, the Tanks of the world,
Kerry
everyone
Warren.
has to get up to what? My math is horrible. I wasn't ever good at math. 26, 27 sacks between the rest of those guys. I don't know. I mean, if Bruce Irvin stays to his average, which, you know, maybe he gets 1 or 2 more. Guys don't usually go from 5 to 10 or 5 to 12. That's kind of who they are. He's been in the league 6 years. I got to go under, Brian. I mean, that's a big number without Khalil Mack.
This guy came up with his top 10 quarterbacks. Woo! Just go ahead and just read off the top 5,
All right.
and then we're gonna go ahead and get these guys' thoughts on that.
There's no debating here, by the way. But
Well, these are
number
long.
1, Tom Brady, you know, 5 Super Bowls, the reigning MVP. I know
Gotcha.
he's 41, but he threw 500 yards in the Super Bowl, so I don't see any signage of slippage just yet.
Okay.
And then you go, number 2, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. He's
yeah.
in the same class as Tom Brady, just without the rings, but
Yes.
he's very talented.
Yes.
And number 3, that's where I surprise you guys. You guys are probably going to, you know, throw out the pitchforks and, you know, really blame me a lot of things. Russell Wilson.
Who?
Russell Wilson,
Okay,
Super
gotcha.
Bowl champion.
Yeah.
A guy who's a wizard out there who could do a lot of things on the fly, on the run. Very, you know, spectacular quarterback. That's my top 3.
Okay, all right.
I think people overthink the room on this all the time. I think Brady's one. I don't think there's any question about that. People like to overthink the room because he's so good. So let's pick someone else just to pick someone else. But he's got 5 rings. And like Gilbert said, I was at that Super Bowl and he threw for 500 yards. So you're going to look around like, all right, they lost the game, but he threw for 500 yards in the Super Bowl. Rodgers, I would have 2. I like Gilberto's reasoning on.
You're rolling that R now. I like it.
Well, I'm rolling the R. I got a few Enyes for you. I mean, look, I'm not a Russell Wilson fan. It's not because he said it. I'm just not a fan of his. So I go Breeze 3 specifically. Okay. You and I both have Breeze in our fantasy teams. Yes, I need Breeze to throw for a lot of yards. I don't care if he ever wins a game. Yeah. That's what we've become.
Okay, you want to win your fantasy league?
Wentz is hard for me until I see him come back from the ACL. That's hard for me. I can't believe I'm saying this because I do think there might not be any bigger whiner in the NFL, but I'd actually put Rivers at 4.
I knew you were going Rivers.
I like Rivers a lot, yet he whines about every play. Every play. I don't know who complains to officials more, him or Bill Laimbeer for the Aces. But I'm going to say Philip Rivers. And
taking
then
shots at Bill Laimbeer during the football show.
At number 5, you know, I can't go Wilson yet. I'm just not a fan. So I'm going to go Big Ben. I think he's consistently, you know, in terms of his yardage and his touchdowns, he's got the best receiver. So, and once you get to 5, I think there's 1 and 2, and then everybody else.
Yeah. I got you. What do you think?
First of all, isn't Wilson a second baseman? I mean, come on.
Second or third?
He was second baseman.
Okay.
I was the first one, and I think the only one to read Gilbert's list when he first filed it, and I immediately told him it was invalidated because Aaron Rodgers is clearly the best quarterback in the league.
Where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
A couple hours south.
My bad.
So I was thinking of having him rewrite it, but you know, he's pretty strong.
He knows what he's
he knows what he's doing. I'll give Brady number 2. I like Breeze at number 3. I'm with Ed on Rivers. I mean, I think he's one of those.
I think he's really good.
I think he's one of those swing guys. He could have an awful season, or he could
like
be
last
good.
year.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost all or nothing.
When he's done, don't you think he'll be one of the best never to win one?
He already is.
He's not,
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
he's not Dan Marino though.
I
don't know. I'm not saying he's Dan Marino, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty
When's
good.
the last time you won a playoff game? It feels like forever.
Well, look, Gilberto, we don't need facts. You're
Money in the
throwing facts
conversation.
to a newspaper kind of thing.
The guy with all the facts is in here.
I don't have the columns like Ed here.
Come on, Gilberto. We don't need facts. We just need opinion. It's all about opinion, man.
He's muddy in the water.
Who won't win, where, and why really is not playing here.
He's just one of those guys that can get hot. And if he gets hot, you know, they had a lot of bad luck last year, especially with their field goal kickers. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Rivers and I'm going to. I think this is a bounce back year for Cam Newton too. So
a lot of fantasy people think
he's going to be number 5.
Yeah, a lot of fantasy people think Cam Newton's bouncing back.
I think he comes back. He bounces back. I think that whole team bounces back.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on. And this is one that we we love to talk about. Anytime you talk about sports, you want to know what team's going to win, what division, who's going to win the Super Bowl. Gilbert has some, Gilberto has some. Usually I start with Gilberto and I go with Gilbert when we do our Vegas Nation stuff. But anyway.
I'm confused now.
Yeah, I know. This guy to my left here. All right, so division winners. We have the Patriots in the AFC East. That's a no-brainer. We shouldn't even talk about that because that's the weakest division in the history of.
Nobody's saying Bills, right?
No one's saying Bills. Love Peterman, but go ahead.
Steelers, AFC North. Texans, AFC South. Chiefs, Giants, Vikings, Falcons, Rams. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start with Tommy here. I can call you Tommy, right? Good.
Tomas, Tommy, whatever you guys want.
All right. So, who wins the AFC North?
The Steelers until somebody unseats them. I mean, that's just.
Gotcha.
I think he's surrounded again with his talent.
Oh, yeah.
Roethlisberger.
Antonio
The
Brown
defense
is
is the defense.
All right. So AFC, we're going to go down and give you a few of these in a row. AFC South.
Texans, Deshaun Watson's back. I think that.
Wow. Second year guy.
I think it gels. I think it gels again.
Okay.
Finally agreed, Tom.
I know.
All right.
Give it time.
Give it time. The one that a lot of people in this region and we care about, just because we cover the team that's in that division, the AFC West.
Chiefs. I mean,
Again.
although there's a little question on their defense, right? They're going to have to.
They're very bad on defense.
Yeah, they're going to have to outscore opponents.
That and the fact
But
the quarterback
again,
has a problem hitting receivers.
It's like,
Unless he's throwing it 60-plus yards.
but it's like the AFC East. I mean, it's just a terrible division. I think. You know.
Okay.
Chargers, maybe. We'll see what they do.
All right. So, the NFC East.
The NFC East, I'll have to go with. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Oh,
wow.
Good for you, kid.
Let's get this
He's
guy.
a smart man, Tom.
Got Elliott back. Dak. I'm not sold on the receivers.
All right.
I think it'll be ball control, offense. I think their defense can come through. So I think they'll definitely make the playoffs as division champ.
So in a clear hangover for the Eagles, obviously they're not going back to back, and Foles is not going to capture the magic.
He had one of the all-time worst preseasons in recent history for a quarterback, didn't he?
He did.
Every time you look, every day, oh God, he was terrible in practice.
He was. He was terrible leading up to the playoffs last year as well.
Yeah.
Switch on that system there.
All right.
I'll believe when I say it.
I definitely hear you there. And lastly, last two quick ones, we have NFC South and the NFC West. We just skipped over one division.
I think we're pretty clear on what happens there. Rams, I'm kind of astounded how quickly they established a balance with their on both sides of the ball and with the talent, how they assembled the talent. Usually it takes teams longer to do that. Obviously, there are a lot of different reasons for that, but they've come together. I think the NFC South, I think I'm going to go back with Cam Newton having that bounce back year in Carolina prevails.
All right.
That's your MVP of 2018, huh, Tom?
MVP of 2018?
Cam Newton?
No, he's my number 5 ranked quarterback.
Okay.
Get some good value on a future there.
All right. So Tommy's got the. What do you say, Ed? What say you?
I'll just go
Eduardo?
through Gilbert's and say which ones. Like I agree with Page. No,
I mean,
okay, we'll go to one with Gil. I disagree with Gilbert on it. I'll take the Chargers in the AFC West.
Okay.
Because I do. If he's ever going to do it, he better do it. And I think it's more because the other three teams aren't very good. I mean, like Mahomes, we'll see. But I don't think the Raiders are very good, and I absolutely don't think the Broncos are very good offensively for sure.
The Broncos.
So I'll go there. Tom Spousta obviously knows his stuff. Cowboys in the East. Not that I'm a Cowboy fan.
Wow.
I'm actually going to go Aaron Rodgers in the NFC North. I'm going to go the Packers in the NFC North. I will go Drew Brees in the NFC South. I think he's got one more with Alvin Kamara now. I like the Rams picks, and so mostly. I'm about midway, 50-50 with Edward.
Okay. I got you. One thing I definitely want to make sure that we get this out to everyone. The reason that we're doing this is because they have a special issue that would be at reviewjournal.com. Also, it's a hard copy that you can take home and sit on your couch and read. Basically covering all of the NFL and little bold predictions and everything else. A host of good writers, Ed Graney, as I said earlier, columnist, NFL writer Gilberto Monsanto. Also, Raiders beat writer Michael Gehlken, who is not on the show right now, but obviously, you see his videos, you read his articles, his stories, very good stuff there. Also, there's some other
Todd Dewey has the prognostication from the sports books. Has a column in there. The section publishes in Thursday's Review Journal, and will start going up online Wednesday night.
All right, so we have that as well. All right, so thank you for joining us. For columnist Ed Graney, for Assistant Sports Editor Tom Spousta, and NFL writer Gilberto Monsanto. I'm Brian Salmon for our Vegas Nation special issue report. We'll see you next time.